What's good, family? This is David Carter, the founder of BLK Business. Today I'm here with Lynn, the founder of Buy Black Economics and Buy the Block. And today we're going to be discussing a project that she's embarking on, which is a huge deal, and we all need to get involved on. Which is called Buy the Block. And what we're going to do is get into a few questions just so we can get a better understanding and some answers to the questions that everybody is looking for. So the first thing I want to ask Lynn, if you can help us give more clarity, what is Buy the Block?
Buy the Block is a group investment platform and community for people who are interested in investing in real estate. It is essentially crowdfunding for real estate.
All right, that's awesome. Okay, perfect. Now, how does Buy the Block work?
The way Buy the Block works is small amount or many people put in small amount of contributions, which is investment or small amount of money. That pool is then used to be able to purchase real estate. And from that pool, once the a real estate completed, once it's up and running and it's either rented or in use, being used by the business or so on and so forth, the investors, the contributions that were, or the contributors that put in, they will then in turn receive returns, whether it be monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, or annually. They can receive returns on each of their investment from putting a small amount into that investment pool.
Okay, so basically, instead of taking the risk of doing it all myself and going into real estate and possibly potentially, losing on an acquisition, I can group fund with other people who are seeking investments in housing, and that way I only have to pay a small portion as opposed to a big portion, and I increase the amount of property I have over time, which then gives me a return. Now, let me just ask that return. How does that return happen? As far as like what methods? Like how do I determine what determines how much I get?
It can the average return for a real estate investment of what your initial investment is. Now, keep in mind that with any investment, there are expenses that are associated with it. So once all the expenses are covered and on an annual basis, whether it be tax, whether it be maintenance of the property, and so on and so forth, the profits is then split between all of the investors that put in the initial offering for that particular property.
Okay, so let's say if we rent out the property and it's as a multi-dwelling property, and we get a monthly, payment, right? So I would get a percentage of that every month.
Correct. If that's what you choose,
Okay.
you can get it every month, or you can get it every 3 months. You can get it every year.
Okay, excellent, excellent. And is that the only method of us making money uh, through that opportunity? Uh, are these just residential or commercial as well? Property.
These are both. They can be residential and commercial. The other aspect of buy the block that anything that is associated with real estate can be included in buy the block. So, say for instance, we have a group of individuals in an area that that's for sale, and this bar has we can be able to create a certain amount of capital every season or every year, etc. That particular project can go on by the block. The group can actually invest in it. It's open to anyone who would like to invest, and they can invest as little as 350 to participate. That's the minimum, and it goes up. Then, of course, they can go higher, but that's the minimum. They can invest as little as 350 and be a part owner in that actual bar and earn a residual income on a monthly, quarterly, or semi-annually or annual basis.
Okay.
So yes, we can definitely finance businesses that include real estate through Buy the Block, as well as residential, as well as commercial properties.
Now you mentioned $350 being the medium you need in order to get in and start to invest. Now, in the beginning, do you need that whole 350 up front, or is there another method to get to that? To get to that 350. Like it.
we start the
Mhm.
we start off with a minimum of $25 per month investment, and then once you get to that 350 goal, you are then qualified to actually invest. So you can invest as starting as little as 25,000, I'm sorry, $25, but that goes towards a pool, and it gradually increases until you get to that 350 goal.
Okay, excellent. That's perfect. And I said that should be doable for a lot of people. All right, and that way you can
Yes.
build over time, and that way you're making a long-term investment. So I like that. All right, now what I want to ask are, what are to you, what are the top five reasons that people should invest in Buy the Block?
Top five reason that people should invest in Buy the Block is one, group investment. This is an opportunity for us to pool our funds together and be able to reach a certain amount of capital in a short term, in a short amount of time, as opposed to one, you know, the traditional methods that we use today, which are going to the bank, going to, getting hard money loans, etc. This is an alternative method, which is a very, very popular method. It is being used all over the world. We are just bringing it to our community so we can use it. So this is definitely one of the advantages. You're investing as a group. That's number one. Number two is you're minimizing your risk. You're minimizing your risk because, say, for instance, there's a property that's worth $100,000, and or it's the asking price is $100,000. Now you have $100,000, but instead of you taking your $100,000 and putting it all towards that property, you then split that $100,000 with several different investors. That way, you minimize your risk. So what essentially happens is, let's say, for instance, from that $100,000 that you have, you take 10,000 out of that and you put towards investing in a property. You still have $90,000 to be able to earn, or to invest in other properties,
Mm.
or put your money in other investment opportunities. So that way you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. This is definitely the advantage of Buy the Block and group investment. You minimize your risk. Okay, so um, the third advantage is the fact that this particular concept is, one, again, it's not a new idea, it's not a new concept. It's being used all over the world. They've used it in Brazil, they use it in Europe, they use it there's places in, even on the continent, that have already started using this type of method in order to fund real estate projects. So this isn't anything new for it's not anything new. Just the methodology that we use is slightly different because we want to make sure that it's palatable for a lot of our people. The other reason that it's definitely important to, or top five reasons Buy the Block, is the very low minimum to be able to start. At $25 a month, we buy games for $25. For our children, we take $25 and we buy a cup of coffee every day. So this is a very, very a very low threshold for us to be able to start investing. It's not that high. As long as we understand that we have to meet that 350 minimum in order to start investing. What you're doing basically is just building your pool when you start putting in your $25 every month. The other reason that it's really, really extremely important for us to invest in Buy the Block is this is a way for us to get in on real estate investing without breaking a sweat. I mean, this is a very, very easy. Buy the Block does all we manage the financial paperwork. We manage we make sure we get all the properties, meeting all the requirements that is needed from the states, that all the expenses are being paid for the properties. All of that is done by the Block.
Excuse me.
At the end of the
Hmm.
day, at the end of the day, you are doing what we're doing is basically putting our money into, or a pool, our resources into one pool. So this is the definitely the advantage for or some of the advantages for buy the block, or to invest in buy the block, is the advantages that we have. I mean, the low threshold, the group investing, the um, investing as minimizing our risk, getting in on real estate investing without breaking a sweat. So
Okay, excellent.
those are very
All right, those sound great. Now, based off what you're telling me, this sounds like it could be a pretty big thing. Now, based on what I'm hearing, this can actually be a way for us as a community to create generational wealth, so that we can then acquire property and then be able to eventually, not only make a profit but also pass it down to our children, as a form of, as a form of insurance, you know, as a backup, because as we know, it's better to start to leave the next generation something that they can build off of. Now,
absolutely.
another reason why, based off what you said, and I'm extrapolating on, is that we need, in order for us to get a better control of our community, we have to start understanding real estate and buying real estate, right?
Mm,
Now, by
yes,
doing this, we'll also be bettering our children, because what most people don't know is that the actual uh, funding that goes to the schools in your area for education is actually based off of property taxes. You understand?
right.
So the
Yeah,
more property we own, and the better we keep that community, the higher that property taxes is worth, and therefore the better education your child gets. So it's not just something
absolutely.
specifically for the individual. It's something that can affect your children and everyone around you, right?
Mm,
And not only
right.
that, once you own a community, right, you can control a community. You can have your own security. You can have a gated community, so that way,
Hmm.
for the issues that we're having with some police, that could be that could be a solution. So this is a huge deal, and I really want us to get behind this, right? So,
Absolutely.
what do we need people to do to get going so we can get this up and running?
We need them to visit buytheblock.com and one, read over everything, and take a look at the some of the projects that we have on there, what we're working on, and we need them to press contribute or invest. We need them to actually contribute or invest, one or the other. Contributing means that you're contributing towards the platform. Investing mean you're actually investing in the first property. Those are the difference between the terminologies that we're using. So either contribute or invest to pull this off, because we're not just doing this once. The goal is not just to do this once. The goal is to do this repetitively, to hopefully every 30 days, if we actually secure, fund, and lock down another property, another block. Before you know it, we have blocks all over the US, outside of the US, that we actually own tons and tons of properties in. And we're actually taking control, or even to the point where we're dictating what's going on in those communities,
Mm.
because our dollars are actually going into those communities, instead of actually going out. So
Okay, excellent. All right, so if I was to go to buytheblock.com right now, and I would invest, right? This investment would go towards the future investment towards a property that I would want.
the anything $500 or above goes towards the property. Anything below $500 actually is you're contributing towards, one, the platform, and two, you're actually we're banking your first $25 into starting to invest.
Oh,
So there's definitely those that shift there,
okay, perfect.
in the different perks that are available.
All right, excellent. That sounds great. All right, so now the platform that you're talking about, what is this platform, and what will we be able to do with it? Why do we need it?
The platform will be able to host multiple properties like this, or multiple investment deals like this. We'll be able to track the account. The platform becomes a community, basically. It's our community where we, one, log in, and we're able to see how much money we've invested, how much we've earned, what our returns are, how often we're going to get our returns, what is going on in different cities, who's doing what, what other groups are being formed in different cities, and so on and etc. This is what the platform is all about, as opposed to us always using external platforms to be able to do, or other platforms to be able to do these type of deals. We're actually hosting our own very own location to keep track of every single detail: who's investing, where they are, how much they've invested, what are their returns. These are some of the things that each individual investor will be able to see, as well as the group will be able to see collectively, because there's we can form investment groups as well, via the platform. So the
Okay.
platform itself is the community, for lack of a better term.
Understood. Understood. Now, one last thing I want to ask or talk about. Um, so, as far as the property, who chooses the property, and how does that work?
The properties can be choose by or the properties can be submitted to, by the block, by anyone who actually finds a quote unquote a deal, for a better say. And the way that works, once they've done all the paperwork in regards to the property. Let's say, for instance, you, David, you find, I don't know, you find a Family Dollar in your area that's being sold with the actual real estate involved as well. You've done the you pulled all the financials. You were able to see everything. It's on paper. It looks like a very good deal, right? So you bring it to Buy the Block, and you say, you know what? I think we can crowd invest this. We can actually pool our funds together and own this Family Dollar at the end of the day. We then take that information. It goes through an underwriting process. We basically fact check everything that you've submitted to Buy the Block. Once everything is clear, we put it up and we put it out to the community, which so far the community has over 10,000 people that are actually joining, and the number is growing every day. So we put it out to the community. The community didn't decide. The community funds it, basically,
Mm,
using the $25 method, the $350 a year. I mean, sorry, and up that pool that they're building in the community. Once that, and then that's the process, basically. So you, as an individual, a group can bring a property to Buy the Block. Buy the Block can submit properties as well, but it is open to everyone that's part of the community to actually, um, to fund and build these or bring investment deals,
okay.
basically.
All right. Perfect. So that's what this platform is for. That's why it's so important, so that it can all connect us together. So that way, when we can group invest and also pool our resources to find properties and deals that we normally wouldn't have found outside of our state. All right. I think this is an excellent platform. I think we really need to get this going. Now, one last time, before, so we can, so they can get a better understanding. What's the one thing they can do right now that'll get Buy the Block up and going right now?
They can visit buytheblock.com, and they can click contribute or invest, or they can go on Indiegogo and type in search for Buy the Block and look for the campaign right now. Right now we do have a campaign. The campaign is to complete the whole project. We've put in X amount of dollars so far, that we've gotten Buy the Block so far,
Hmm.
or to where it is now. So we just need the community's help to complete it and be able to make sure that we are meeting all federal regulations in order to complete this project, because there are some SEC regulations that we need to meet in order to, dot our I's and cross our T's. So that's so we need people to go to buytheblock.com, click invest or contribute, or go to Indiegogo and type in Buy the Block to be able to find us and back it.
Okay, perfect. All right. So everyone, thank you very much for your time. I need you guys to go to buytheblock.com and also to share this video right now. Share with all your friends and family members. This is an important issue that affects us all, and this is a solution. Most of us talk about the problems, but not many of us come up with the solution. This is an option that this is an opportunity we have for us to better our communities, to better our lives as a whole. So if you can do two things, share this video out right now, and then go directly to Buy the Block and then contribute, so you can make your investment, and so we can get this a community built for property and investment. Okay. Thank you very much for your time, Lynn, and I'll definitely see you next time.
Thank you, David. Have a good
You
day.
too.